This meeting is being recorded. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Faces Friday. I'm Jacob Hackett. To, Today, to start off the year, I thought as we approach a midpoint of the 2021-2022 school year, I thought, why don't we hear from an educational aide? He worked in Vineland School District. He worked as at Atlantic County Special Services, and he also worked in West Deptford. Uh, Now he moved to New Jersey. He's living in Puerto Rico. Ladies and gentlemen, it's very nice to see him because it had been a while. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jeff De La Cruz.
How you doing, Jacob?
Thank you. Thank you for being here, Jeff. So as I said in the introduction, tell people, give people a little bit of your background.
Well, first of all, it's a pleasure to be here, man. It's my honor to be here. A little bit of myself. My first job working with students, it was around when I was like 17 years old or less. I got this summer job at a shelter, right? They had these little kids where they were abandoned by their parents or whatever the case may be. That's when I started working with kids. All the way, I moved up all the way to St. John of God, YMCA, as you mentioned, and then I ended up in the an awesome place. And I met you. It was Atlantic County Special Services. I did like 2 3 years there, 2017 until 2019. 2 years, yes, 2 years.
Jeff, was it, of course, everyone's different. Was there something that said to you that this is what I want to do for the rest of, during my time here? Because as I said, you're down in Puerto Rico now.
Yes, like I said, when I was working with the kids in this shelter, it broke my heart. Seeing these kids like in the need of a mom and a dad, and they were so lovely and nice. It kind of moved me. And from that day on, man, it's been working with kids like schools, summer camps, my own nephews and family members. My daughter. Now I'm working with my daughter. I got a 4-year old daughter. That is a task too. I don't know if in the future I will be doing as a teacher or a teacher assistant as I used to be, but eventually I want to work and do something for the kids, like maybe a program will keep them out of the streets, teach them technology, surfing, or something like that.
Well, I mean, now, and especially where you are, Jeff, down in Puerto Rico, there's plenty of opportunities because the weather is warm 24/7. So if you wanted
You're
to
right.
teach them
Yeah,
surfing,
you're right.
technology, anything, you would have the time and the luxury to do so
Correct. Correct.
because of the climate. Um,
Mhm.
Puerto Rico, I've never been there, but I've seen enough pictures. It's beautiful. I mean, the scenery, to be able to go to the beach every day. Uh, and I mean,
Yes.
as you said, seeing children in you, I guess was it a youth shelter?
Yes, they were young. They were like from, I would say, months old to 5 or 7 years old.
Oh wow, that must
We're
be.
talking about kids, little kids. Yes, we're talking
Oh
about little kids.
wow, okay. So that
Yeah.
must have been very heartbreaking to see
It
because
was. It was to the
they're
level that I wanted to adopt one. I I
right,
was asking my mom to adopt one to that level. It was heartbreaking, man. It was heartbreaking.
and they're young. They probably don't even know where where they are.
They don't even know why. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the who, what, the the three W's, as they say in education: the who, what, where, why.
Yep,
They don't
correct.
even know. For 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 people watching this and they want to get into education as it stands with special needs, tell them like what does it take? What were some of your daily tasks during the day? Because it
Well,
varied from, I'm sure, Vineland to Bedford and then towards special services at the end.
well, it takes a lot. It takes a lot. You gotta like be mentally prepared for all the situations. Because, for example, when I was in YMCA, I had kids that were not ED, right? But they were like very challenging, attitude-wise, in many ways, right? But once you get the hang of it, like you get to understand and go to their level and feel their way, you you become it will come out naturally. It will definitely come out naturally. I started with one student in Atlantic County Services, and it was Gyro, and it was a very I don't want to say it's hard experience. I want to say a little bit challenging, but at the end, when I got to understand how he felt, how he will like communicate with me, it was a whole different world. It was a whole different world, man.
And especially of the child that you're speaking of. The child could not verbalize, was not verbal, so he could
At
not
all.
tell you, I felt like this today. I need this. It was very difficult because I'm sure the lines of communication, as they say, were not there.
Correct. He wasn't able to say, I have a my arm hurts, my head hurts, I feel uncomfortable, none of that. So it's something that you gotta like pay a lot of attention to try to learn how he communicates. Because maybe like another kid that was in the classroom, and he wanted something, he will grab your hand and guide you towards it. Gyro was nonverbal at all. It was like more like point you once in a while, but most of the time it was like a gesture. But I got
Oh,
that, and eventually I got to know what he wanted, how to eat, when he was getting frustrated, when not, what to do not to not make him frustrated.
right. And a lot of kids, for parents watching this and they don't know what to do, walking the child, walking the student or the child around the building, that can be helpful too because it's used as a calming mechanism.
Correct. Yes, that was one of the things. Like if it was getting out of control, I would give him the iPad, or if the iPad was in charge or something, I would try to take him for a walk. If he got tired, I'll put him in a stroller and walk him around the school building. I would try to give him like occupied and get him like not to focus on his anger. And definitely walking is one of the best techniques. Because when my other students, like in the other rooms I worked, when the kids were getting frustrated or act like getting mad or agitated or feeling uncomfortable, that was the first thing I do. Let's go to I don't know if you remember, there's a section where there's a sandbox between
Right,
boxes
right,
and the
right.
basketball.
Yeah, especially for the kids in Jana's room. That was because it's all like fine motor, touch, feel type of stuff.
I will like, for example, one of the kids I had, Gabe, I will put him to play in the sandbox. When he will calm down, let's go back to the room, and he will go back to his task. Yeah, it's something that there's no instructions for it. You gotta like develop that sense to understand how they feel.
Yeah, and if you don't, like it's almost the case of Jeff, like if like you have to read them.
Correct? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy. You know, I've worked with people, not that are disabled, but if they don't have trouble, if they have trouble, what I'm trying to say, explaining themselves, it's like you have to clue them in or get clued in to figure out. And I'm sure for you it was hard your first day because a lot of with the company you worked for, they they don't like they just sent you to a room. So at that point, you don't even know what you're walking into.
Yeah, you get a brief explanation, and then from there on, it's hands on. And I think it sometimes it sounds like, oh, this could be crazy. They're not telling you anything, but sometimes I think it could be a good idea at the same time because you got hands on and experience. They gotta teach you. Obviously, there's a like a balance you have to have, right? But I think it could be a good thing sometimes. It depends on the situation also.
Oh, certainly. I've always thought that it could be a good situation because, as you said, if you don't find it, and I've said this on here plenty of times before, if you don't find the balance, you don't know what you're walking into, and that's when the other staff members in the classroom have got to step up to the plate and say, "Do you need help? Yes, I do. No, I don't."
Yep, correct, correct. Yep, yep, you're totally right.
Um,
But
so we went over a variety of tasks. Oh, since we both went there, any fun memories of working at special services?
a lot, man, a lot, a lot. um, this is always like you will never get bored, or you will never. I don't want to say the word bored. You will never get like into a routine, because even if we call it a routine, with these kids, we're constantly living something different daily, daily. You know, they will come in a good mood one day, not such a good mood the next day. So you never know what to expect. Sorry.
Right, right.
So
I remember.
I forgot the name of this. There was a kid in not in I forgot this girl's name, and I told you a little bit ago. The one that was next to Bob Moss,
Oh,
Brittany.
Brittany. Yeah,
Do you
Brit.
remember the little kid? I forgot his name. He was very short, and he was always dressing like a nice ties and
Oh, yeah, yeah. His name isn't coming to me, but yeah, yeah.
I forgot his name. But you know which
So
one
did
I'm.
I, but yeah, I know who you mean when you started describing him.
So
Yeah.
I have great memories with him because every time I will go to the room or see him in the hallway. He will say, "Hi, Jeff," and will shake my hand or give me a hug.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Every
I remember that kid, but yeah, I mean it's just I mean it's a fun fun place to work. If any of you are looking to get into working in a school system, and you want to work with special needs, and you feel that you have that compassionate heart,
you
Atlantic,
gotta have it. You gotta have it.
yeah, and if you don't, because Atlantic County, you need that because, and Jeff, not so much saying the pandemic, but with the insight who you worked for, it seemed like we would have see someone different like all the time. And that's hard for the kid too.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Because once they get used to, like I said, if you don't have that heart or you don't have at least the compassion, it is not a job for everybody. Because you gotta have both. It could be draining, it could be frustrating. Because it's not the kid. It maybe is like let's say someone without experience, and he got in there, and it's like, okay, this kid is trying to say me something by mimicking or making noise, and I don't understand him, and he's getting frustrated. I'm getting frustrated. It could get draining, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you need to have this passion and this understanding, because if not, it could get into you. It could get into you. And I think that was a big case with the company I was working for. There was a lot of people coming in and out because many of them got too comfortable sometimes, and they were like, okay, maybe this is not as hard as you think. But when the hard days were coming, they were got caught by surprise, you know?
Yeah, and not to take this personally, but I had some of them say, "Oh, to me personally, like, oh, I'm so easy," and then then how could I be so easy and then they get stuck in a hard room the next day? It's all in a matter of
Yeah,
where you get put. It's
I,
all in a
I
matter of
think
where you get placed, really.
I think it's not a matter of being easy. I think there is a matter of there are kids or students that are less challenging than others. You know, the
Right.
tasks. Because, for example, like there's kids that when you're gonna change their diaper or whatever the case may be, they don't comply with you because they don't like it and they feel uncomfortable and all that stuff. You know, there are other kids that know how to do it by themselves. You know, so that's where the part it goes. Like sometimes some kids are more challenging than others,
Right.
but I don't think the word easy will come to play. That like somebody says it's going to be easy, it's not. It is a tough job, but if you have the heart and the passion, you will have fun and you will
Yeah.
enjoy it.
And I mean, a lot of people, well, a lot of people did when you were there, and some of them still do, but now, from what I've heard, the turnover rate is just, well, that's how I shouldn't just say schools anymore. It's everywhere, Jeff. Nobody wants to work.
Well, even though yes, it's everywhere, man. Here, there's a lot of people that really don't want to work, and a lot of them are scared. A lot of them are, I don't know why, right? Because everybody has their own personal reason. But I can tell you that the education field, it could be challenging, but it has a nice schedule. You know, it's not as bad as like working in construction or something like that. You know, your Christmas vacation, you get to 8 to 3, 8 to 5, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, you get the Easter, you get a couple
Easter,
weeks,
yes.
you
All those
get a
days you get to
couple
be with your
weeks
family.
in the springtime. I mean, some people go, "Oh, it's so hard," but then look at us in education. You get breaks. You get almost 2 weeks off for Christmas. Come on, how lucky could
Yeah.
you be?
Listen, I worked in the hotel industry for 7 years when I was younger, right?
Yeah,
And the shifts are constantly changing. There were 9 to 5, 11 to 6 a.m. You don't get to have vacations as often as schools districts do, right? For example, I had to work a whole full year to get a week of vacation, and it was when the season wasn't as high as like summer. It was impossible because that's a high season. You know, winter is a high season. So when you work in hotels, high seasons like winter and summer, you don't get vacations unless you're seniority or something like that.
right. So then you have to be lucky, and as I'm saying, find the balance again, and do I do it in the fall or the spring when tourism is down?
Yes, yes, yes. I'm telling you, school is not as bad as you think. Like you got that partial freedom, I would say. You know, you gotta like in the afternoons you get to be with your family, and again the vacations like spring break, summer.
Yeah,
So
that's
if you look
nice.
at it that way, it's great. It's great. But I
Yeah,
think all jobs are challenging, man. I think all jobs are challenging. No matter what you do in life, there's always going to be a challenge.
yeah. Exactly. Nothing comes. e- It's not going to come as easy as you think. It's not gonna be, oh, here's a piece of paper and here you go. No,
No,
doesn't work like that anymore.
nope,
So,
nope.
like, tell. I'm gonna tr- change the subject for a second. Like, tell people what is it like living in Puerto Rico besides going to the beach every day and
Okay, like besides going to beach and summer all year.
like what is it? Yeah, tell people what it's like.
Well, I can say it's a little bit more laid back way of living. Like for example, let's say the rush, right? Like when I used to live in New Jersey, this is my personal situation. I'm not saying this is everybody's, but at least my personal situation, it was like this. I had to wake up, drop my wife at her job, drop my daughter at my mom's. She was taking care of her, right? And being sharp on like on school, like on a rush most of the time. Like compared to life here, you still gotta wake up early and do your stuff. But I don't feel the rush, the way of living like in a rush. Here's a little bit more laid back. Like you won't have traffic in much like in my side of the country, right? The side of the island where I live. You don't get stuck as much in traffic, and there's everything is very nearby. But again, it depends on your location. Because if you go to the city in San Juan, you're gonna have a little bit of a rush.
Oh, I see. Like the tension isn't there.
Sorry, can you repeat that,
Uh,
Jacob?
The,
Sorry.
the tension is not there.
The tension is not there. Yes, perfect, correct. Yes, yeah, the tension is not there.
Yeah,
You don't feel that weight.
yeah. I mean, the warm weather, the nice food all year round. I mean,
You see,
one
you don't
day,
have to get up off your car and wait for 10 and 15 minutes to get warm up, and then you can go to work. See, you get on your car and turn it on and
so
go.
Jeff, what you told me before we started, you're working from home. Like, what are you doing now?
Well, first I was doing virtual classes, teaching kids in virtual. Now I'm customer service. I work for a company that works for deals with different campaigns. Like for example, let's just to mention one, health insurance.
Oh,
When I started with them, my job was to. Sorry if you hear the noise in the background. It's my problem. My job was to create appointments for people so they could get the COVID vaccine, right? Or guide them to locations nearby their houses. Like for example, let's say there were adult people like um, they didn't know where to go. I will send them a map via email or tell them, hey, are you close to this place? This place they're gonna be doing the vaccine, or here's an appointment, things like that of that nature.
okay. I get it. Yeah, it's very useful information in the world we live in today.
Yeah, because most of the people were adults around their 60s and 70s. It was not they don't have access to the internet, or they're not tech savvy like us.
Right,
Like
right. Like
we
not like us to sit here on Zoom and do an interview. No, they need a
you
lot
can
of assistance.
log in, send an email. Yeah, these people are like, okay, where I should go. I know where this is. Can you do the appointment for me? I was like, okay. Do we have this dates available? Are you okay with that? And so far,
Yeah. So that's what you're up to. I will.
Oh, sorry.
I said